Yo, so anyway, partly, originally I was planning to make a video for you guys to give you some travel tips, to tell you certain things you shouldn't be doing while you're traveling and some things you should be doing while you're traveling. One of the tips that I was gonna give you guys is when you're dropping, look, when you're checking in, when you buy a flight ticket, flying to wherever you're flying, and they allocate you two big luggages. What I normally do, I carry only one big luggage and one small luggage, so that I can drop both luggages in, and I only carry my backpack like here, so that when I go through security, I don't get no nonsense. They don't give me no they don't give me no problems when I drop my bags in. And also, when you're boarding the flight and you see like a lot of people struggling to put their hand luggage in the overhead, departments or whatever, you don't go through that problem. Like again, I'm carrying my backpack, so if there's no space in the overhead, compartments, I can always put my backpack in between my legs, under my seat. So those are a few tips for you guys. And also, another tip for you guys, I'm actually here, terminal 4, waiting to board. Let me turn around for you guys. Like you can see, a lot of people waiting to board. Yeah, so another tip for you guys, men, like when you're traveling, us men, a lot of you guys like to wear suits and all of that stuff, and shoes with hard bottoms on, like, leather shoes or whatever, and all of that nonsense. My advice to you is wear comfortable shoes, like trainers or kicks or whatever you guys want to call them, Converses or whatever. Wear comfortable shoes so that when you're going through security, they don't really make you take off your trainers. Like I always wear trainers. And also, don't wear belts. Men, don't wear belts, because when you're going through security again, they'll tell you to take your belt off. And also, it's uncomfortable when you're sitting. If you're flying for like over 5 hours, if you're wearing a belt, you're gonna be uncomfortable and stuff. So yeah, those are a few tips for you guys if you're traveling for like a long time. Like me, if I'm going to Uganda from London, there's no direct flights. So from London, depending on who I'm flying to, we're gonna have to change flights, go through transit and all of that stuff, and then catch another flight. So when you are flying, make sure you're comfortable, wear comfortable clothes, and also don't carry a lot of shit going on to the flight, because when you get on a flight, if it's a full flight, some announcers make noise. Yeah. Let me see the time. We're supposed to be actually boarding now, but I don't know why. I think they're delaying us. So travel light. If you're allocated two big hand luggages, don't carry all of them. Carry one big one and one small one, and also use all your kilos to drop your bags in, so that you don't go through all those problems. Alright, I'll give you more tips, I think, when we get to Doha, because we're gonna fly from London to Doha, London Heathrow to Doha. So when I get to Doha, I have a long stop over there, like 4 hours I think. I'll give you more tips. Alright, catch you in a bit. Alright guys, boom, another travel tip, yeah? Just came to my mind right now. I've got loads for you guys, like I told you. So another tip, yeah? Suitcases, when you come to luggages, yeah? Buy suitcases or get suitcases that are easily identifiable. Suitcases that you can see from afar when they're coming on the belt, on the luggage belt. When you land and you go to baggage claim and stuff, when you're waiting for your luggage to come, sometimes when you have suitcases that look like everybody else, like dark colors, like black suitcases, blue suitcases, you might wait there for a long time, and your suitcase could actually just go past you and you don't even know. Or if you do decide to get darker colors, like black suitcases or even blue suitcases, get a little ribbon that you can see from afar with your name on it, something like red, or even something you can see that separates your suitcases and your luggages from different people. I normally get suitcases that I can see from afar, so when I see it coming on the belt, I know that's my suitcase, innit? So get suitcases that you can see from afar, or bright colors if you don't mind that kind of stuff, like red or even white and red, mixed colors, man. It's just a suitcase anyway. So for all you bougie people, get something like Louis Vuitton or whatever, or even whatever you want to get, Gucci or whatever, you can see from afar, because not a lot of people will probably have your suitcase anyway. So those are more travel tips. I'm here for all of you guys. I'm gonna give you more as we go. We're still at Heathrow, man. They delayed us. We're supposed to be boarding by now. Our flight was supposed to be at 9:40, but We're supposed to be boarding from 8:40, and now it's after 9 o'clock. We haven't even started boarding yet. Look. Yep. We're delayed. People are waiting. Everybody was waiting to board. But I don't mind it because I got 4 hours layover in Doha. So this delay here eats into my layover in Doha for 4 hours. It's cool. By the time we get there, I won't have long to wait. It's all good. It all works out anyway in the end. But yeah, suitcases. Get suitcases that you can see from afar when you're traveling, so that when you land, you get to your final destination, you can, spot your suitcases coming from afar. Yeah, more travel tips coming, man. We're still here. London Heathrow, Terminal 4.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning.
Doha International Airport, and yeah, just gonna wait here for my connecting flight to Entebbe. Huge airport. Look, I use this airline all the time, and I come to this airport all the time. It's probably the biggest airport I've ever been to in my life, but yeah, it's amazing. They're always innovating it, updating it, and obviously because of the World Cup in November, they're keeping everything crispy and clean, as you can see, man. It's an amazing airport. In my opinion, I might be a bit biased because obviously Qatar Airways is my favorite airline to use, so I'm gonna be a bit biased, but this is definitely the best airport like I've been to. And yeah, I'm here. So I was giving you some travel tips before I flew from London, and I just landed, and might as well give you another travel tip. So when you're traveling again, make sure if the airline you're flying with allocates you two big luggage and then a hand luggage, what you can do, if you don't have like a lot of stuff to take with you, what you can do, just take one big luggage and one hand luggage, so that when you get to check-in, where you drop in your bags, you can drop both of them in. Because if you carry two big ones and a hand luggage, they will only let you drop in two big ones and make you take your hand luggage on board with you when you're boarding the plane and that. But what I normally do, I just take one big luggage and a hand luggage, and then when I get to drop in my bags when I'm checking in, I just drop my big luggage in and my hand luggage in. So I combine all my kilos together and I drop both of them in. That's why I get to only travel with my backpack. Yeah, so I don't worry about finding space in the overhead compartments when I get on the flight. More travel tips. All right, as I'm on a escalator here, yeah, another travel tip. So when you're gonna travel and you book your tickets and stuff, so they always give you a chance to check in online 24 hours before your flight. Make sure you take advantage of that option, because if you're running late on the day of your flight, if you only got a few hours to make your flight, if you're caught in traffic or whatever and you're rushing to get to the airport, if you've already checked in online, it gives you an advantage. Because if you get to the airport and they've already closed the check-in desks, they can still rush you through if you checked in online, because when you check in online, that actually automatically puts you on the actual flight. So if you get to the airport late with your hand luggage, and your hand luggage might stay at that airport, but for you as a person, because you've already checked in already online, they'll make sure that you get on the flight. And it's actually happened to me a few times in the past, when I've run a bit late, get to an airport and the desks have closed and they take my bags, but I get, they rush me to the flight because I've already checked in online. So take advantage of that option when you're traveling. The day before you fly, 24 hours before you fly out, check in online. It's a huge advantage, and it also gives you an option for you to print out your boarding passes as well. So if you want to, You can print out your boarding passes before you actually get to the airport. And also, it gives you an option, most of the times it gives you an option to choose your own seat, what seat you prefer to sit on. If you want to sit by the window, it always, when you're going to check in online, it shows you the seat that they allocated you. And if you want to change it, you can change it to any available seats that are not taken by then. I personally prefer to sit, in the aisle, by the aisle, because I drink a lot of water, and when I'm traveling, I keep getting up to go to the, washrooms and that when I'm on board. So I don't really do middle seats or window seats, because then you have to get up and, ask people to, let you go through and all of that stuff. So use the check-in online. Another travel tip. It's really, really helpful. It gives you an advantage if you're running late, and also you choose your seats as well, where you want to sit. More travel tips coming up. Another travel tip. So if you're traveling for like 10 hours and you have connecting flights, for example, if you're flying from England like I am, and I'm going to Africa like I am going to Uganda, my flight is like 16 hours, right? So that means you're gonna have a stopover somewhere, because obviously there's no direct flight from England to Uganda and from Uganda to England, so you're gonna have to stop off somewhere depending on what airline you're using. So me, my favorite airline, I keep telling you, is Qatar Airways. So you stop off here in Qatar, in Doha. So the tip I want to give you guys is, if you're traveling for long hours, and you're gonna have a stopover in transit somewhere, it doesn't matter where you stop off. Look, if you're traveling and you have a connecting flight, make sure when you're booking your flights, make sure your stopover is at least 1 hour and a half or 2 hours. Or if you don't mind waiting for long, even if it's 3 hours, it's cool. Reason why I recommend that is because from the start of your journey, like me leaving London, from the start of your journey, normally you get delayed to leave. So that normally eats into your connecting hours, your transit hours. So for example, today we're supposed to leave London at 8:40, 8:45. We ended up leaving at nearly 9:30. They delayed us for like an hour before leaving London. So if I only had an hour in transit hour here in Qatar, they would have, because they delayed us in London, that would have eaten into my transit time here in Doha, and that can make you miss your flight. So keep in mind, that's a tip I want to give you guys. So if you're traveling somewhere for long hours and you have a stopover, make sure your stopover hours is at least 1 hour and a half or 2 hours, because at least if you're delayed from where you're leaving, where your journey's starting from, at least you're covered, so you don't miss your second connecting flight. That's another tip. Right, another tip I'm giving guys, like the video, by the way. If you're watching this, like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, because I'm always going to give you travel videos and giving you tips as well when you're traveling. So another travel tip, when you're traveling and you have your suitcases, look, for safety reasons, I would recommend that you buy small padlocks and you put them on your suitcases. At least your valuables and your belongings are kept safe. Put padlocks on your suitcases, or if you can buy suitcases that come with what do you call it? I don't know what you call them, locks where you enter combinations and you put like a pin on it. If you can get those suitcases, get those. But if you can't and you decide to get normal suitcases, guys, I recommend get some padlocks. And when you get to the airport and you're checking in, and all your kilos are standard, and you're about to drop your bags in at the airport, put your padlocks on before you drop them in, because that will keep your stuff safe. At least your stuff is safe. Because I know a few people who've traveled like in the past, and then they've complained that using different airlines, I'm not gonna say any names, that people have dipped into their bags and they've stolen belongings. So to be on the safe side, no matter what airline you're taking, I do it all the time. Get some small padlocks, and make sure you put them on your suitcases before you drop them in when you're checking in at the airport. That will keep your belongings safe, and it will give you peace of mind as well. So you know that at least your stuff is safe. That's another travel tip for you people. Like the video, man, and subscribe if you haven't. More tips coming. Doha International Airport. Airports always remind me of when I go to the gym. You see like a lot of people traveling and everybody is on their own journey. You might be, all connecting in the same airports, but everybody's taking different flights. Such as life, right? Everybody, is fighting their own separate, battles. So you see like a lot of people going to different gates. Everybody's going to different journeys. Just like life, Everybody's, as you can see, there's a little tram up there, or a little train. Those little trains actually, they transfer people from one terminal to another, or like depending on how big the airport is. This airport is huge, so those trams actually, or trains, whatever you want to call them, they take people from one gate to another. That's what I believe anyway. So yeah, airports remind me of life, man. Everybody's on their own journey in life. As you can see, people over there on the escalators, everybody is connecting in this airport, but they're going to different gates to take different flights to different destinations. That's life. And these people over here in a different, gate as well, going to different destinations. Yeah. There is a little train that transfers people from gate to gate. There it goes. That's dope. Another tip I want to give you guys, it's more of like some sort of advice. When you get to your final destination, to wherever you're traveling, to, or even when you get to an airport where you're connecting your flight, and the plane lands at the airport, stop. Look, people, whoever's watching this, if you travel often and you've ever traveled before and you're planning on traveling, stop getting up, stop rushing to get up from your seat when the flight lands, because I see it all the time. Like people, the plane lands, it parks up, and then people get up straight away and trying to grab their bags and they're ready to leave, and they end up standing up for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Look, when the plane lands, they normally take a while to open the doors to let the passengers off the plane. So when you land at your airport, your destination, wherever you're going, stop rushing and getting up and getting your bags and stuff, because you're just gonna stand there for like 20 minutes. So when your plane lands, take your time and stay seated, and then in about 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes, when they open the doors, when everybody is ready to leave, that's when you can stand up. You guys, look, I'm sure you guys have seen it as well, like on certain flights that you've taken. When the plane lands, people just get up straight away, thinking, they're thinking I want to be, one of the few people to get off, first. I understand if you're connecting a flight and you don't have like a long time in transit and you want to rush to go to your next flight, but take your time. When the plane lands, they're not going to open the doors straight away. So stop rushing when the plane lands and it parks up. They're going to take a while to open the doors. So you guys that always get up straight away, I always just look at you like, okay. So yeah, that's a tip for you guys as well. So you don't want to stand up and wait there for like over 25 minutes. Take your time, and then when the doors open, when people start moving, and then you can get up and get your bag and leave as well. Boom. Okay, my guys, another important travel tip for you guys. When you're traveling, it doesn't matter where you're traveling to, and it doesn't matter what the weather is at that final destination that you're going to. Whenever you're traveling, make sure you're carrying at least a jumper or a hoodie, like I always do. This is my hoodie I always travel with, so you guys have always seen, you've seen this in a few travel videos that I've made. I always wear this hoodie when I'm traveling. So wherever you're traveling to, make sure you're wearing at least a jumper or a jacket or a hoodie. Reason why I'm saying that is because it doesn't matter where you're going. Even if you're going somewhere where it's really hot, just carry a jumper or a hoodie, because when you board the flight, normally the temperature on the flight is a bit weird. Sometimes they'll, you know, blast the air conditioning on the flight, and you might be in a t-shirt and you might not have a jumper or a jacket. You might get on the flight and start feeling cold. Or sometimes you might get on the flight and it's warm as well. So if you're wearing a hoodie or a jumper, you can always take it off and put it in your bag. But it's better to have it and need it. It's better to have it when you need it than need it and not have it. So yeah, I always carry this hoodie. If I get on, you know, on the flight and it's really hot, I can always remove it and put it in my bag. So yeah, always carry a jumper or a hoodie when you're traveling. It doesn't matter where you're going. On the flight, people, you know, might put their little air conditioning on and it might be blowing onto you as well. Or on the flight as well, it might be a bit cold for you. So carry a hoodie or a jumper. That's another tip for you guys.